Why do women love true crime documentaries? It's a question being asked by blokes on social media a lot at the moment. I myself watch a lot of true crime and have done for most of my life, long before social media, and had always assumed the answer was obvious. But apparently not. So let's take a look at the many reasons why so many women watch so much true crime content. Before we begin, we post death and dying related videos every Friday, so if that sounds like your kind of thing, consider subscribing to the channel. Now let's talk women and true crime content. I should start by saying that, yes, a lot of men watch true crime as well, and while sometimes the reasons that we're about to talk about are true for them, studies show a variety of different reasons which are more common for them. And that's a video for another day. So let's take a look. Empathy. This is probably more of a low-grade reason, but when you compare men's reasons in interviews for watching true crime, this one really stands out. As women tend to be predominantly the people who are victims of murders, there is a huge element of compassion for the victims amongst female viewers. Blokes, when interviewed, very rarely mention empathy as a reason for watching. When we read a victim's story, man or woman, we see them as a person and learn more about them. There's always that little bit of us that thinks, that could have been me. That could have been someone I know, someone I love. So we do have a lot of compassion with the victim, and there is an emotional connection to true crime. Remember, empathy is very different from sympathy. It takes effort to be able to put yourself in that position to understand their feelings. And a lot of female viewers can imagine themselves in that position as the victim or the victim's family. And there is a real emotional jolt and emotional reaction. But away from this type of empathy though, there is a less common version. Some viewers of this content seek to humanize these horrific killers in order to understand them and thereby reduce their fears. They want to understand why they did what they did so they don't have to see them as monsters, just flawed human beings. Often these women have suffered sexual trauma in childhood, and as a way of coping, they seek to humanize these despicable people. These type of viewers are more prone to reaching out to those in prison, wanting to believe that they are just misunderstood and with love they will be healed. In the same way that they wanted to believe when they were children that if they just loved the person enough, they would stop hurting them. It should be said though, that's not the only reason why women write to prisoners, but again, that is a video for another time. Education. Knowledge is power. This horrific thing is your worst possible fear, and therefore you want to understand it, confront it, and know everything you can about it. You want to know what red flags to look for, what situations are more dangerous than others, what type of people are more dangerous than others. You want to know how to avoid such situations if possible. Because we all know it's not the victim's fault. But we also know that these perpetrators are never going to stop existing. See our video on that one. And you need to know how to navigate your way through life while sidestepping around all the deadbeats. We can be told, don't walk down a dark alleyway, don't accept drinks from strangers, watch out for love bombing, but watching these true crime docos shows you what it looks like on a practical level. It's like giving examples in a textbook to make the theory clearer. And I am absolutely aware that I am watching for this reason to some degree, and I have been aware of that since I was a kid watching this stuff. And frankly, the fact that so many blokes need to ask this question and can't work out this particular point for themselves kind of shows just how far we have to go with getting them to understand our reality as women. Investigation. Some of us just love a good puzzle to solve. I do. For some, it's taking an unsolved case and trying to work it out for yourself by doing more research. For others, it's following how the police put all the clues together to catch the killer. We are curious about the how, who, what, where, and particularly the why. Some like unsolved cases so they can continue to investigate, and some, like myself, really get annoyed when there's no clear motive. As you're screaming at the screen to the cops, go back to the drawing board and work it out. I need answers. Come to think of it, I had the same reaction in school when I couldn't work out a complex math problem. Many viewers like when this content shows interrogation footage, so they can see how detectives play the game to get the info out of the person. Which, as a side note, interrogation footage is like gold to a YouTuber, because it's watch time that you didn't need to work for. Escapism. We as women are often angry that in the news we see so often rapists and murderers getting away with it with a slap on the wrist. You need and want to hold on to the idea that society gives a shit. And often these true crime docos show the system works, or at least to some extent, which makes you feel reassured. It's the same reason why shows like Law & Order SVU are so popular, no matter how far from the truth they may actually be. There is an element of escapism from reality in this content. From a reality where old men running the courts and police stations can't be bothered to do anything, to an escape where perhaps a woman is in charge of something like SVU, to where cops go above and beyond to seek justice, to where a court system actually functions as it's supposed to. Escapism in the form of entertainment also speaks to why people go to haunted houses and ride roller coasters. There's something about facing danger when it's not real, it's not personal. Answering the "what would it be like" question. People like to be scared or like to see the dark recesses of someone's mind. Some people would say that it helps prepare us for violence in our own lives. So I hope that answers the question. Let us know in the comment if you are a regular true crime content viewer and why you watch it. And with that, go talk death.